Hello. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Sip and Stitch. How's everybody? Feel free to say hello in the chat. Hi, Tammy from Texas. How's
Tammy
Texas?
from
How's things down
Texas.
there? I am at our house in Utah. This is probably the last Sip and Stitch from this office with this background, which is
That
very
is probably
exciting.
true.
Spencer's in California for work. And I am not stitching and sipping. I'm designing and stitching today. I've got my, I guess I could share my screen while I work on it, but then nobody will buy these patterns because they can just copy them straight from the screen. But I'll show you what I'm up to. Working on a pattern to release. Can I present? Let's see. Share a
Yeah.
screen.
Here, I'll take my
Screen.
camera off.
So I'm working on
Oh, that works.
I'm working with Amanda from My Peepo, who does portraits like this. It's low resolution because it's just a render file. But we're making a pattern set out of it so that people can make their own. We're calling it the favorite things set, where you can surround yourself and your loved ones with your favorite things. So I'll be poking away at that while we're hanging out. So that's me today. Let us know
That's
what
fun.
y'all are stitching, what you're working on. And feel free to send a picture of what you're working on through Instagram DMs or to info@stitchpeople.com. Spencer's got an eye on that while we go.
Oops.
So
Yeah, I'll pull it up so I have it handy.
the emails?
Yeah.
Nice.
Emails and messages.
Emails
I'm
and
ready.
messages. So yeah, for those popping in to say hello, send us pictures of what you're working on. I realize today may be lighter because it's July and people might be traveling. So, we'll just hang out with whoever is able to make it. And yeah. Hello from the Bronx. I've tried to create a portrait and I simply can't. Oh, Jackie, well, there's your first problem. You can, I promise. Tell me in the comments what's going on. Is it the design part or are you starting the stitching part? I got every book of PDF. I need to see someone create it on video. Well, that is in my list of things that I keep meaning to create. It's like a whole video course. No guarantees on when that'll happen, but we do have some videos on the Facebook group and on YouTube. The drawing it out. Well, lucky for you, I'm just working on designs today. Send us a what's the best way for me to get? Do you have a picture, like a family portrait picture that you're recreating, or are you kind of taking from a bunch of different photos and creating a composite design? I'd be happy to help take a stab at it during this hour for what it's worth. If you would like another set of eyes on it, I could share the screen and everything and show you kind of my process as I design. Couple with the dogs facing forward. Awesome.
Hey, Lizzie.
Hey, yeah.
Can you open another tab and pull up Instagram,
Probably.
the Stitch People? Because Instagram
I guess.
comments don't come into StreamYard, but we are getting some comments on the Insta.
Oh, well, how about that?
I know.
Because I'm going live with my, oh,
No, we're already live.
hold on. I'm now streaming myself on Instagram, but I don't know how to mute it. So I've turned my volume down. So if you're trying to talk to me, Spencer. Oh, that's because I'm signed as my personal. Okay. Let me sign out. Oh, no, I'm signed in as Stitch People. Well, then what the heck?
I can just read them off.
How do I
Would that
make
be
it not
helpful?
do audio? I can hear you talk, Spence, or I can have Instagram comments open. Unless I pull it up on my phone. I could do that. I've got your volume back up, Spence.
I was gonna say I could read the comments.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Didn't
also respond to them.
didn't mean to make it a whole thing.
That tends to be the theme of modern day business on the internet. Is anytime you think you know what you're doing, it will turn into a whole thing.
A whole thing.
It's what we're doing where we're at. Okay, so Jackie's going to email. Perfect. Jackie, send us an email. This is my new task for today. I'm going to share. Is it okay if I share the screen? If I put like pictures into the, if not, I can look at pictures, but only just share my design. I'm working on a quilted snowman by Lori Holt. Well, I'm going to Google it. Quilted snowman, Lori Holt. Oh, that's so cute. Oh my. Oh my. That's beautiful. I'll share my screen. Why not? Share screen. Choose the window, share the screen. Bam. This is what Tammy's working on. The Quilted Snowman by Lori Holt. I'm impressed. That'll be stinking adorable.
Oh yeah. That's great.
Hi, Nifty. Crochet can be a Stitch People thing for sure. I think anyone who creates any stitches of any kind are Stitch People. For example, I've used Stitch People patterns for quilting. I made a quilt square once of my parents' dog. So Stitch People is officially quilting now. And I know, I'm not a knitter or a crocheter, but I know that Stitch People patterns could be used for crochet and knitting. So anyone is welcome who has any sort of creative spark. So that's everyone in the whole world. So come hang out. We're just hanging. I'm going to be making a Stitch People portrait pattern with Jackie. So yeah, so you can watch that process and hang out with us. Spencer, will you, once Jackie's email comes through, will you text me the images so I can just pull them in?
Yes, I will.
Thanks.
Jackie, I'm not seeing anything yet. Are you sending to info@stitchpeople.com? As far as the Instagram comments go, Megan Percival asks, can you add bomb pops to the fave things?
Bon pops?
Bomb pops.
I
I
don't
know that I know what
that
bomb
means.
pops are.
Google, what are bomb pops?
Bomb pops. Oh, like popsicles.
Oh, popsicles. Yeah, sure. Cute.
It's cute.
Yeah, let's add a popsicle. Bam.
And then she also says, I've been trying to make my house in a pattern for the last 3 years and I've just about given up. It's so hard.
Darn.
Houses are complex.
They are.
That is very true.
Send a picture so that I can be in solidarity with the toughness of it.
And then Erin says she's trying to figure out a design for an intricate bridal veil.
Intricate bridal veil. Well, Godspeed. Bridal veils are tricky to stitch because usually they're like sheer, right? So it's,
don't you have some tips and things in the weddings book for
yeah,
veils?
Yeah, there's I think a whole page of veils in the weddings book. Yeah, I mean, it depends it depends the degree to which you want to capture the intricacy though. If it's a lace veil, that's tricky because you could use just a little piece of lace like applique, but then the lace probably won't match the exact lace, but it will allude to, hey, lace veil. You could also do like backstitch the outline of it and then try and recreate the lace with like a little teeny tiny needle so you can be really precise. That would be impressive. Or you can do just like I often just do like long straight stitches just to be like there's a veil here because that's all it's cross stitch. So I don't think I'm a big fan of letting yourself off the hook of the literalness of it because it's already so not literal being like a 3-inch tall version cross stitched of what you're up to. So yeah. So what's the phrase I've used? Represent, not replicate.
Right. Oh, your Mike Wazowski mug.
Mike Wazowski. Hey, Nifty. I don't know if you saw Megan's comment, but Megan says she's crocheting as well. She has a doll to finish by next weekend, started yesterday. Way to go, Megan. I believe in you. You can do it.
Wow. I think we lost.
Huh?
I think we lost Megan. She did say like, "Oh, looks like you maybe aren't seeing Instagram comments," and I think she bailed.
Oh, there is a Megan in the YouTube comments.
Maybe she jumped over to YouTube.
Megan Lathers? I don't know how to see.
Maybe different. I don't know.
Stitch people. I don't know how to see the Instagram comments. Because I can't pull it up on my phone for some reason. It's not showing that I'm live. Unless I watch as Lizzie, I'll still be able to see the comments, I'm sure. It's a whole thing. Aha! Hello, Erin. I'm going for the back stitching representation option. It'll be a long road, but it'll be worth it. I believe in you. Okay, I've officially got Instagram comments up.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, Megan Lathers is not the Megan who is commenting on Instagram, she says. No, not the same Megan.
Good. Oh, not the same. Not the same.
All I heard was Megan from Instagram, and then there was Megan on YouTube. So thank you for clarifying.
Oh, we did get a house picture from Megan on Instagram.
Cool.
Megan on Instagram. Are you still on Instagram? Are you there?
Let me scroll and see if oh no, I can only see the comments now that I've joined. Okay, whatever. See, this is it. This is technology, man.
2025.
It's not my favorite.
But we are streaming to 3 platforms simultaneously.
What? That's fun.
Yeah.
That's easier than it used to be when we started this whole thing.
Man, remember when we like first started doing online stuff during the pandemic?
Yeah.
And we like went all out and we tried. I had like live. This was in the days when like live captions weren't auto-generated on videos, and I think.
Oh yeah, we paid like hundreds of dollars for like a closed caption company.
Yeah.
Because we had a few hard of hearing folks.
Yeah, and I know that like not all the videos do, but like it's so much easier now. I imagine that anyone who needs that service probably has their own browser thing. So.
And it costs so much money that we didn't do it for the next event, and we're told that people shared their opinions about that. But oh man, those were tricky times. It's so nice now that it's all automated. But gosh, it was expensive. Okay, I'm making an apple right now, designing a wee apple. Spencer, you're frozen. Well, I'm going to remove Spencer till he unfreezes. Right now I'm crocheting a bag made of 13 granny squares that have stars in the middle. Oh, that's great. I love that. I love the look like the granny squares that people turn into bags or sweaters or whatever. That's really, really fun. They're really colorful and interesting. Oh, Megan's still here. I'm still here. I sent my house pic. Perfect. I'm going to wait till Spencer sends that to me. He's managing the inbox. But alas, he went offline. But he'll be back. He'll be back. And then, so yeah, we'll take a look at the house pick and either mourn with you at its complexity or maybe demystify. If I can, I'll do my best. Let's see. Lily says, I'm cross-stitching a pencil bag for my co-teacher. Oh, that's so nice. Welcome back, Spencer Bean.
That's what you get for hotel internet.
Hotel internet. It's always a gamble.
Okay, Megan on Instagram. She's still there.
Yeah. Did Jackie send pics? Do we have those yet?
Let me try to. I realized that maybe part of the problem was that I had like a million things still open on my computer from yesterday.
Tabs.
So let me save Megan's and shoot it over to you.
And then we'll take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow.
Thank you all for your patience as I get back up and running.
Yeah, man. How dare.
Okay. We're back in business.
We're back in business. This is what we love to hear.
All right. Just texted you Megan's house pick.
Cool. We'll take a look once that comes in. I'll move my program to my other screen so I can share it more easily, but then you guys all get to see the side of my face instead. Okay, so
I am still not seeing
nothing from Jackie yet.
Nothing from Jackie. Jackie, are you still there?
Jackie, oh Jackie, where did you go? So we don't love that C word. Can't.
Oh.
When she said, I am trying to make a portrait, but I can't. Yes, you can. Sometimes you just need a little help.
Gosh, I was really wondering where that was going. So, just for fun, while we're shooting the breeze, my job is here in Orange County, California. And I was trying to pick a hotel to stay at. And I thought, you know what I want in my life for this trip is like good energy. And so I'm staying in a hotel that's like right at the northwest corner of the Disney property. And this hotel is nothing but families going to Disney all day.
Aww.
And so like breakfast is just like so many families, so many little kids,
in
like
all their Disney
super
gear.
excited in all their Disney gear, like just rearing and ready to go for the day. And then the hotel just, I'm assuming during the day is just going to be like silent, which is great.
That will be great. Okay, so this is Megan from Instagram's house that she's trying to design. Beautiful house. Love the trees. I can see why this is tricky.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah. Validated there. That's we got a lot going on. Lots of textures, lots of angles, and lots of non-45-degree angles. So
lots of 2-to-1 ratio stitches.
And I'm assuming this is the angle that you're trying to design. Megan on Instagram, are you doing just a house portrait, like just a house? Or are you trying to do it such that you're like going to put little Stitch People characters maybe in front? So it looks like there's like foreground people, background house, because that will affect the scale. Because there's a few different ways you could tackle it. Also, are you planning to embroider or are you wanting this to be cross-stitchable? So those are my questions for you, Megan, on Instagram. Is one, is embroidery an option? Two, is it house only, or are you including Stitch People characters for scale reasons? Hi, Elaine. Thanks for hopping on and saying hello on Instagram. And
We are well.
Nifty on YouTube is watching the Love Boat in the background. Love that. Like the old
Great
one?
choice. Is there a new one?
I don't know. All that Hollywood does anymore is remakes, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, that's true.
Really quite uninspired. I prefer to do just the house. Okay. In that case, oh, Lindsay just designed my first house cross stitch. Wish me luck. Good luck.
Good luck.
Lindsay. So Megan, with this in mind, and then I mean, I guess there's personal preference as to how big you would want this thing. But tell me about embroidery, Megan. Or are you wanting to cross?
Well, I can. I was going to say I can tell you about embroidery. It's the art of. Never mind.
Okay, sassafras.
Would you like to know about cross stitch too? I can probably
you can tell me all about it
too. Yeah, I can tell you all about cross stitch.
I haven't cross stitched in a long time. That's okay, Lindsay. Welcome back. Most people learn to cross stitch from like their grandmas at age like 8 and then don't think about it for like 20 years. So that's right up there with how most people approach cross stitch. So whether it's been 20 years or 5 years.
I was talking to a lady at work yesterday and telling her about Stitch People, and she.
Oh no. He froze again right at the height of the story. And she what, Spencer? And she what? Oh no. We'll have to wait for him to come back. Hotel Wi-Fi. I guess all those families haven't left for Disney yet. So Megan, I'm just waiting. Are you embroidering this house or are you wanting to cross stitch it? Because the reason I'm asking, if you're cross stitching it, then you are beholden to the grid of the fabric, right? Everything has to be 90-degree angles to be able to fit with the square cross stitches. And you're going to have more trouble with your angles and things, or you're going to have to get a little more creative with your angles and things. So that's why I'm asking if you're wanting to cross stitch this house or if you're wanting to embroider the house, because if you're embroidering the house, then all you need to do is outline the house and then transfer it onto your fabric, like embroidery style. And in that case, the angles don't matter so much as far as matching them to the grid of the cross stitch fabric, Aida fabric. Yeah, so that's not as much of a concern. So for example, if you're just doing embroidery, then I would just outline the house. I'm using Illustrator because I used to do graphic design professionally, and that's a program that is familiar and comfortable to me. A lot of people outline on their iPad. Sorry, the live kept saying pause. Oh, I'm so sorry. We must have some connectivity issues. No, I mean, if this is the angle of the house that you want to do, it just depends on if you want to embroider a cross stitch. So if it's embroidery, it's just a matter of outlining. So I'll make this outline and I'll be happy to send it to you. But then you've just got to transfer it onto your embroidery fabric and enjoy. If you want to cross stitch, it's going to be a little bit trickier. So, it depends. Okay, so you're wanting to cross stitch. Great. So with that in mind, I'll undo my outlines because it does get a little bit trickier. Well, if we're cross stitching this thing, it also kind of depends on the size that you're cross stitching. So let me go to my settings here. Oh, look, Spencer's back. You need to tell us the rest of your story, Spence. It cut off.
Well, okay. So I was talking to a lady at work, and she's got grandkids of her own, and telling her about stitch people, and first words out of her mouth were like, "Cross stitch? My grandma did that."
Mm,
And I thought, "You can too. You can too."
mhm. Okay, so I just changed the grid of my program to be 14 squares per inch so that this would be a one-to-one, sizing for Ada fabric. Um, to be able to get the level of detail you're gonna want, let me, I'm there's no rhyme or reason to how to start this process. So I'm just thinking out loud, like if I were tackling this as a commission or as a gift for somebody, um, what I would do is, let's see, is there a size at which I get any sort of 45-degree angle? Not really, not really at all. Um, so it also depends on, um, yeah, the size of this thing. Um, I'm going to assume it's a somewhere in between, that you don't want like an itty bitty house and you also don't want to be cross stitching for the rest of your life. So we don't want this to be like a 14-inch by 9-inch monstrosity. But this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper grid. So we're looking at, if we do the house, this will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches wide. Yeah, that's, yeah, yeah. Okay. So in this case, what I'm going to do is start us with the cross stitching part, because that is going to lock us in a little bit. And we'll see how much ground we can cover with cross stitches. So that is the size of one cross stitch. I'm going to take a few liberties. You kind of have to, because again, we're representing, not replicating. We'll replicate as best we can, but
Replicate with creative liberties
yeah. Looks like there might be a
and
window behind
lots of
that tree.
asterisks.
Yeah, right. Replicate until you can't, and then say you're just representing. Yeah, we'll do that. Cool, we'll fill that in a second, and then we need just a little patch over here.
Those bricks are going to be fun to stitch.
And then we get into stone territory. So I'm just going to represent the stone territory with a darker grayer color. We have a window. Let's make room for the window. Spence, did we ever get Jackie's?
I have not seen anything from Jackie, no.
Well, darn.
I'm checking all the places.
We'll add details later, Megan. Also,
here's a dumb question. Like, are you like, when it comes to details, would you add like the downspout
yep,
on that wall with the stone? You would.
I think so. I mean, it's there.
It's part of the house.
And it's, in my personal opinion, those kinds of little details that make it,
Yeah, that's true.
look just right. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have a column. Get yourself some marble columns.
This one or that one.
That
one
one
or
or
this
one.
one.
That is by far my favorite SNL sketch ever. Just ever. Okay. We'll come back for the light. For now, we're just focused on house shapes. Look at that pretty pot by the door. This is a beautiful home. My goodness. It's giving me Atlanta vibes. When Spencer and I were trying to move to Atlanta, we looked at a lot of cool, like, what is this? Maybe like a 80 something, 1980 something. They did cool stuff in the 80s or late 70s. Some really, really interesting houses. Okay, it's coming along. So here's a trick when I'm designing, like I'm not great with perspective because I'm not a trained artist or drawer. So like I can see that we're not, like if we were just front of the house flush, we would have like straight horizon lines, right? Like right to left is the bottom of the house, and then it would be just very square. I can tell that this is not square, but I'm kind of having trouble because it looks like what do they call those? I don't know, that retaining wall. It kind of comes up, but then it also comes back out towards like where the camera is. So what I like to do sometimes when my eyes can't make sense of things is I'll get a really obnoxious color. So I know this has nothing to do with my actual design. And I'll just trace these lines. So like this one, I also need to unlock it from the grid because it's trying to, okay. So this one kind of comes this way. So we're going lower on the left to the upper right, but then this comes back out and down. However, the house stays pretty flat. So for the sake of this design and simplifying it, I actually think we could make an argument that it would be okay visually, because again, this is a cross-stitch piece of a real house. So it's not like, you know, there's a innate craftiness to this. I'm going to just keep this wall of the house flat because it's close enough. This one will be at the bit of an angle, I think.
Megan says her whole house is on a retaining wall and it's from the 70s and she has 2 sunken living rooms, which sounds incredible.
I
love a sunken living room.
Okay, so this is, I'm going to take these green lines away now that I know what I'm about. And okay, so now let's give ourselves the steps. This is going to be a light gray. Ka-chow, 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 ka-chow. And let's do the door. Cool.
I wish you could turn Instagram lives on like to be horizontal, not portrait.
Maybe Instagram Live wishes it could turn you portrait and not horizontal. Do you ever think about that?
It probably does. It definitely
like,
wishes that
I
it could.
just wish I could
me
turn that
portrait.
Spencer bean all around. What would Instagram's personality be if it as a platform were personified?
Definitely a millennial.
Yeah. We're gonna just let the trees go straight. Maybe? Executive decision?
It's a tricky one.
That's a later Lizzie problem. Yeah, for now, we're just going to keep them straight.
Because, like, if they weren't straight, you would be talking about, like, 3 squares wide or whatever going up, and then, like, all 3 squares would shift over at one point and then keep going up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the house angles kind of have to do.
Right.
But it depends on how much, like, tricky stitching Megan is willing to do. Because, like, here the tree bends. You can't just, like, go straight.
Right. And I guess you could do, like,
I can see why this has been eluding you, Megan. What a tricky house. Tricky house. It's like, I dare you to cross-stitch me. Challenge accepted.
Just
I
Just
will cross
taunting
stitch
you.
you and you'll like it.
Yep,
Okay.
those are weird angles.
Super. Okay. Oh, I'm going to check comments. Let's see. It's been a second. Good morning, Merope. Hi, Annie. Yeah, Megan's like, it's been tricky. Yes, I can see why you've tried and tried and tried.
3 acres of woods. Wow,
This is a dream house.
that's great.
If you ever want to sell, who knows where you live, but I'm in.
Annie, Lizzie is using Adobe Illustrator,
Yes.
which is a graphic design program, not really a cross stitch. It's you can obviously design cross stitch in it, and Lizzie always designs in Illustrator
Hmm.
um, because she's got a graphic design background. So she's very familiar with Illustrator, knows how to bend it to her will.
Hmm.
But we actually don't recommend that people jump into Adobe Illustrator unless you already know it.
Yeah, it's not worth
Would
learning just for this purpose.
No, the learning curve is high.
And it
So we
integrates well with the other softwares I have to use to like format the books and stuff.
Yeah, so we recommend for stitchers looking to start doing digital design, look at like Mac Stitch or PC Stitch. Um, uh, Fiddle Stitch, is that what I'm thinking of? The iPhone Stitch Fiddle. That's a mobile app. Fiddle Stitch.
One of them. Okay. Get rid of that line. Oh yeah, Annie, if you know Illustrator, just a quick note for you, you've got to set your settings. You got to go to Illustrator settings, you got to go to guides and grid, and you set up your subdivisions per measurement. So I do for this one right now, I'm doing 14 squares per inch because that's what AdaFabric is. Usually for patterns, I do 8 squares per inch just so it's a little bigger to look at. And then you have to go to snap to grid. And you also want to view the grid. View hide grid or show grid. Mine is currently showed, so hide is my only option. Okay, so Megan, we are almost done with this side of the house. We'll smooth things out. Of course, we're just laying in the groundwork here.
Anna, welcome. You may have caught the tail end of that conversation. This is Adobe Illustrator that Lizzie is using. Megan asks, do you recommend Stitchly? And yeah, I have not used Stitchly myself, or I don't think Lizzie has either.
Mm-mm.
At the end of the day, like as long as it works for you, that's the right one for you.
Yep.
If it makes sense to your brain and it's easy to use and it sometimes different apps click with you and sometimes they don't. So just, I would recommend trying a bunch of them and just finding the one that feels most natural for you to use. Because you want to make execution effortless. You want to just make it easy to do, because if part of the frustration of designing is like fighting your design program, then like that's an extra barrier to overcome that you don't need. So
Agreed.
either find a program that you like to use and like you enjoy using, or just go to pencil and paper. But yeah, don't if the designing process itself is problematic, then find ways to tweak it with a different app or something.
Agreed. That's what I say to Spencer. It's hard because people ask me, well, do you recommend this app or that app? And I hate to say it, I really can't say, because I only use Illustrator myself. I know other people use other things. Some people even use like Excel and turn their cells into squares and then just use like color fill for that. So I mean, if that's your jam, awesome. Then do that. But yeah, I don't, my time is not best spent like trying out new software. So I just haven't because it's not something I need for myself, unfortunately. And I should. I mean, I could do, I don't know. I don't know if I should.
Maybe
But there are a
like
lot of recommendations, in the Facebook groups, and I know there's a lot of blogs out there where people have tried others, and people have tried all the programs. What's the Caterpillar cross stitch one, Spence? Love it,
stitch it, love it, love it, stitch it.
Yeah, something like that. That one's
love it, stitch it.
I did try that one, and it's pretty good. I've tried sorry, felt that sneeze coming. I had tried Max Stitch. Max Stitch is okay, easy enough to learn anyway.
Would it be helpful, people watching, would it be helpful if Lizzie did like just a review of all of the cross stitch apps out there? And maybe we could like update it, do a once a year update to kind of refresh it. Let us know if that'd be helpful. We could maybe add it to the list of things that maybe we get to. Oh, look at that dog stretching in the background.
Oh, she's such a baby.
Okay, a couple more comments.
Oh, Annie, I'm glad that's happening. Or happening? Helpful is the word I was looking for, and my mouth said happening. I'm glad it's helpful to watch.
Nifty, thank you for joining.
I've been wanting to design a simple cross stitch design. Oh, yeah. Yep. Just lock to grid and set your grid in the preferences. Easy, make it breezy. Lily says it would be helpful. The start point in this, I mean, it's really up to you, Megan. I mean, everybody has different opinions about where to start stitching. So, I mean, some people like to measure it out and get it all in their mind's eye and then start stitching in the center. Some people start stitching like from the bottom up. So, I mean, it's really up to you. It's like one of those mystical, like no one can answer that question for you,
but you
yourself kind of thing.
Look inside.
Yeah, like I wish I could tell you. I wish there was like a right answer, but there isn't.
You could print it out and just throw a dart. See where it lands.
Throw a dart.
That could be your first stitch.
I'm gonna just zoom out and select some of these cells and just do a mass copy here. We'll talk about those rocks in a minute. Because again, I'm just getting the shapes in there and then we'll get the detail later. Later, Gator.
Later, Skater.
So that's siding. We need the underside of the roof here. Okay, and then we need the side of the roof. Cool. Yep, and then there's tree. Darn trees. Okay, siding. Siding for days.
Kathy, just a recap. Kathy, she's using Adobe Illustrator.
Yeah.
To design, which again we don't recommend unless you already know it. Use something like PC Stitch or Max Stitch or Stitch Fiddle. Lots of options out there.
There is. Megan, have you tried one of those like turn your picture into a cross stitch pattern programs? I think there's some free ones online. I'm curious how those would have done. I mean, that's going to be a very literal interpretation where you're probably going to be using like 200 colors because every single pixel is going to be interpreted and represented versus what I'm doing is, I don't even know how to describe it. More of like a cartoonish illustration turned cross stitch.
Well, because if you were to convert this in one of those software programs, like you would be getting, it would be so much larger, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, you
Because it
could
would.
set it the larger you make it, the more detailed it will be.
Mhm.
And you can set your size, but if you set usually with those programs, if you set the size to something like normal and stitchable, it'll just it just gets blurry and it loses a lot of the detail. So
Megan says she did, and it gave like a 300 color count.
yeah, I was gonna say that. I mean, it just it like I said, every pixel gets its own deal. So what did I does the siding go? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Trust the process, Lizzie Bean.
Trust it. Trust your gut.
Or just trust the tracing. This needs to be a slightly different color. Let's make it a little lighter to stand out, just so that I know there's a break in the angle. Again, this is just really a matter of tracing at this point.
Annie, yes, you can come back and watch this on YouTube later.
Tracing with squares.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for
Ciao.
coming. Thanks for keeping track of comments, Vince. I'm focused over here
I
on the window.
figured as much. I figured as much.
Let me get my window gray in here. That's got a pane down the middle, and it's outlined both in white and dark, but let's just Megan, I mean, if I were stitching this myself, there's going to be embroidered elements. I mean, I think that's going to be your best bet for a likeness situation. I mean, even just from back stitching around the windows to the little chimney thingies that come out the roof, you know, that kind of stuff. So I don't know if you're open to that at all, but I would recommend it. Most of the embroidery elements aren't going to be too intense. You could kind of see the roof poking through here. It's mostly just the siding. So maybe I don't need this. Maybe yeah, because the angle we're at, it's really starting to not show. So like that's it. Okay, now we've got this part of the roof.
Megan says, "Yep, I believe I can do that. I'm familiar with those."
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, a little embroidery will make it look very cool. Okay, and then this roof comes out this way after the tree situation. What is going on with that square? There we go.
Unruly.
Unruly
Little
squares. How
square.
dare they? Okay. We're getting there. This is another stone. That's the official sounds that stones make, I guess.
One more time.
Now, Megan, you get to decide what to do in here. It's hard to see what's going on. I mean,
She does say behind that tree is the chimney.
Oh, that's a chimney. Good call. Thank you for pointing that out. Great. Yeah, in here you get to decide the extent to which you want to represent this. It looks like there's maybe another stone column or, you know, base here, and then maybe like one of these guys. So it kind of just gets back into the under area of this overhang. If it were me, I'd probably just
She says you can make it simple. It's a sunken spot for like a grill.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like yeah, like just a little patio. What I might do is take this color and do like, I don't know, maybe something like this where you just have like, except the angle's not going to be right. This is tricky. You weren't kidding, Megan. This is a trickster. Maybe just something like that. That's like, yeah, there's house back there. We'll come back to that. I see more roof here that I didn't cover. And then that means the siding comes out this way. And then,
She says it's definitely not a cookie cutter home.
yeah, it's fun. Very fun. I'm going to make this kind of a weird gray, even though it doesn't super match what's really going on. Oh, it matches my stones too much. Because I'm wanting it to differentiate from the roof, but let's turn this roof into like a true black just for the design so that we can make sense of these colors. And get all of these vertical points in place. Looks like that's the door. And then, oh, I'm seeing more house behind the trees. Fun times, fun times. Okay, so let's do screen. That's too light. Let's go dark. Bam. Okay. Very near the end here. Oh, I lost a square. And then we can talk details. I have no idea what time it is. How are we doing? Oh, we're doing great on time.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, and then it looks like we have a little bit more siding. That's a gutter, so maybe the house comes like this. And then we have more window. Looks like this. Is that a boulder? Depends if you want the boulder in the house. I probably wouldn't stitch the boulder unless it's very important to you, and I just finished the house kind of like that. Just for it'll make the most sense visually. And then we'll make our window like so.
I just saw Gemma jumped on.
Hello, Gemma.
What up, Gemma?
Okay. And then we need this like under color. And then we need a gutter. What is going on here? Hello. Dear squares, why aren't you squaring? Okay. Then we'll do our gutter goes like this. Inward. And it's a dark brown and it's going to be thicker, but not quite as thick as a gutter in the foreground because it's in the background. Go figure. All right. So if we take that away, I mean, we're getting, it looks like a house. I don't hate it.
That's cool.
Yeah. So now we need to decide what to do about the trees. Let's do tree color a little bit browner. richer, just a slightly richer color of brown. And oh, I mean, this could be the most beautifully detailed, incredible thing you've ever stitched, Megan. I mean, it really, there's so much cool opportunity for, you know, all this like bark and lichen and stuff on the trees is so cool. But ultimately it's up to you just how much stitching you want to do. You could even, I mean, there's the option to just sort of outline a lot of this stuff instead of full cross stitching. It depends how high up you want the trees to go. If you're going to frame this in a hoop, do you want the trees to, you know, run into the edge of the hoop kind of a look? Or do you, yeah, it's really up to you. So there's going to be some poisonal decisions to be made from here. But I think I would probably stitch the trees. Okay. So just some thoughts out loud as I'm designing. For anyone who's taken any of the classes that I've taught, I'm a believer in stitching in layers. Like what I mean by that is stitching the back things first and the front things last. So in this case, you'd be stitching the house first and the trees last. And were it me stitching it, I would probably actually do like satin stitch for the trees, because if you do like cool long lengths of I get satin stitch, it will look a little bit thicker than the cross stitched house background and provide sort of a organicness that trees embody, and will sort of hide some of the edges of the house where the trees sort of cover, if that makes sense. Since the house will already be cross-stitched in the background, then you'll have this sort of organic satin stitch situation coming across the front of it. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, in my mind, I would stitch the house first, and then I would do the trees last, and I would satin stitch the trees just for for more foreground background emphasis and for some organic motion. Oh, your house is built on this retaining wall. So that said, would we include it? Yes, we would, because it's a vital part of the house. It's the foundation.
It's a vital part of the house.
So
yeah, she was saying if I could just get the house outlined, I think I could frame out the trees, the retaining wall. I'd make a brown green.
Yeah,
She's taking notes and says
great.
this all makes sense. And just a comment from Cross Stitching Hen earlier, not related to the house. She says, out of curiosity, do cross stitch artists create the pattern themselves before submitting to magazines, or do they just submit the artwork and the magazine handles the pattern part?
Depends on the magazine. Yeah, it depends who you're working with. Usually they're going to be looking for the cross stitch designer to design the cross stitch pattern, which usually entails charting it out, making the chart. This is all the wrong color. What am I doing? Select same, fill and stroke. This needs to be like this dark mossy green.
Speaking of magazine designing, Lizzie, is that something I have been meaning to ask you if you would like to do more of that?
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. Didn't we reach out to somebody recently to say?
Yep, and we finally heard back, and they would be interested in talking.
Awesome. Yeah, I used to do once a month for Cross Stitcher magazine. Those are fun times.
But I remember like we stopped just because it got to be a lot.
Yeah. I had one too many things to do. That's when we were in California.
So I don't want to like overload you with things.
Well, thanks. I am indeed not one who likes to be overloaded with things, but still do it to myself more than I should. I have that thing with ADHD where I have a terrible time estimating how long something's going to take. So I'm like, oh, it'll only take me an hour. And it ends up being like a 3-day project. Yeah. Yeah, it me. So I often wind up with just a little too much to do.
Yeah, we're both trying to cut back to like, we're going to err on the side of like too much or too little. We'd like to try erring on the side of too little for once in our GD lives.
Yeah, we've never done that before.
It's always been just pile, 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 pile.
Too many things. And that's part of our, I mean, we've been downsizing. So some of you may know where our intention is to move abroad. We hope to be living in the UK by the end of the year. We'll be applying for, we actually are going to apply for an innovator founder visa. Spencer's got some cool AI stuff in the works. And so as part of that, we are like decluttering our house and getting rid of all of our worldly possessions. And it feels really, really good. And we're really, really excited to take that to like a life situation too, that we're not just decluttering our physical stuff, but our time commitments.
Our mental stuff.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I've slowed down on Stitch People for those who've been around for a long time, is just to not make it so time consuming. Is that retaining wall or is that boulder? It's hard to tell. Megan, you'll know what to do. I'm going to assume it's retaining wall. And I'm just going to bring like the retaining wall just under. Let's do that. Continue the...
That makes sense. If the house goes over that far.
Yeah, and then we'll bring, I don't know, we'll bring the grass in front too, just to keep the visual. Okay, and then the trees. Tree.
Megan, to answer your question, what made us decide to move to the UK? Honestly, it's always been a bucket list item to live abroad. And we feel very strongly that we live in Utah right now. And we feel that we just need to sort of close that chapter of our lives and try something new. We did this like 8 years ago. We got really just antsy. So we up and moved to California. And
we were supposed to stay there.
Yeah, we were supposed to stay in California. And then COVID sort of got in the way of that plan. And we sort of defaulted back to Utah. And now we're feeling antsy again. So we need to, this time we're going to sell the house so that we don't have a safety net to come back to.
Can't come back.
And before we like root somewhere else in the States, we figure, well, we've always wanted to live abroad. Now's probably the best time to do that.
Yeah.
We don't have kids. We've got 2 dogs. So we're just going to do what we've always wanted to do. And UK, obviously, for language purposes, is great. But we've spent a lot of time in the UK. Lizzie's sister did a program over there for school. So that has given us an opportunity to be over there and just really like it. So that's the plan.
So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the image to the front and I'm going to change the opacity a little bit so that I can see what's going on. See if it's like 100%, I can't see my design. If it's 0%, it's only design. So if I bring this back, now I can see things like the cutie little mums at the front or this lamp. So I can do some stuff. So I'll start adding some of these details just to make sure they don't go unadded. This is going to be probably the embroidered stuff, you know, where we're just doing a straight stitch like this, and then maybe a satin stitch like that. And then it looks like, I mean, you know, you see this stuff every day, so I'm just going with what it kind of looks like in the picture. So forgive me if that's not right.
Out there.
I know. So we'll, satin stitch that. I'll probably do back stitches and satin stitch for the pot.
And French knots for the flowers.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, nailed it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was going to be French knots. Guys, I am a cross stitch expert.
Mm-hmm.
It's not true.
What's funny is you know so much about cross stitch, but like don't do it. So
But don't do it.
like it's just what an interesting position to be in where you could look at a pattern and be like, yeah, I bet Lizzie would use French knots and like all the elements, but yeah, it's fun.
Have yet to actually like get into cross stitch. Someday, maybe. That's another reason we want to move abroad is like it just like to really shake it up and reevaluate all of the little habits and comforts and niceties that just set in over time.
Yeah.
We just sort of want to rip it all out and be more intentional the next go round as we kind of build what we want our lives to be.
Yeah. Okay, and then there's a cool thing on the wall. This you'll probably have to just freehand a little bit. You know what it looks like, so you'll be able to recreate it. But I think if you can align it with the grid a little bit, that's just going to help guide your needle. But this looks like it just is going to have to be a little bit freehand. That's life, though. Life's a little bit freehand. If you think about it.
Would that life fit nicely into square boxes?
Ho, 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 it sure doesn't.
It do not.
Turns out everything is complicated.
Oh, she says it's actually not there anymore.
Oh, take it away. You just saved me some time. Great. Okay, so here's how I would tackle the stones, milady. Because they're those cool, I don't know if it's lava stone, but it's of that era, all sorts of colors in there. What I would do is choose like the top 4 colors that match that stone. I'm seeing kind of a really good like mid taupe. I'm seeing kind of a darker to mid gray. I'm seeing a lighter gray. Actually, I'd use 5 colors because I'm also seeing like a darker yellow toned taupe. And then I'm seeing a lighter tan, if you will. Then what I would do is, as the kids say, it's not that deep. Our instinct as cross stitchers is to want like, I make my X and then I count over 2 and up 1, just like the chart says, and then over 2 and up 1. I wouldn't. What I would do if I were you is take those 5 colors and like thread up your dark gray and just kind of go for it. Like I would stitch, let me send this to the back. So as you're stitching, stitch a clump of dark gray like this. And that'll be like your dark mid gray. And then you'll stitch another clump of dark gray and another clump and maybe just a single stitch and maybe a bigger clump like this. And like it just you get to be random and not pay too much close attention. Awesome. Then get your light gray out and stitch a clump of light gray. That's a big stone, and then stitch a little stone, and then stitch a stone that wraps around that dark one, and boot doo doo. Oh, look, this is going to be your light gray. Then you get, we've already got that medium taupe, but like, okay, let's get that kind of yellow taupe in here. And just make a whole bunch of different shapes. That's how I'd tackle this. Some are big, some are small, just like your stones. And if there's particular stones in the wall that like you notice and love, be sure to represent those. But otherwise, I would just kind of randomize it. And then all of a sudden you'll have kind of this mottled look of what you need. So
She asks, like, almost mixing the colors. Like, would you ever have two of the stone colors threaded together as you're stitching a
Oh,
square?
you could if that feels like it's more representative. With generally with like bigger stoned areas, I would do it more like I've explained, like, you know, 1 to 5, maybe 6 stitches at a time because you've got, these big stones. Um, but if I mean, you're the one who lives here, so if you're like, "No, no, there's some moss in those stones and there's a whole bunch of different colors in those stones," then you could mix the colors, but what I would do is if you do like the whole wall, which is mixed colors, then it'll just kind of look like a mossy wall because it'll read as one color of mixed, if that makes sense. So I would still actually have like 3 groupings of mixed colors. So maybe you have a gray and a light taupe and a dark tan kind of overall grouping. And maybe your gray grouping is a light gray and a medium gray and a dark gray mixed together. And then your tan is like a yellow, maybe you have more of a yellow toned tan group and then maybe more neutral toned tan group, and then still make stones kind of the way that I've outlined. Then that'll still give that look of like the bigger pieces coming together, if that makes sense. So then I would also, now, what's really tricky is you've got this siding. What I would do is cross stitch the siding entirely. So like, for example, this area right here, I just cross stitch that tan siding. And then you've got a conundrum because, again, we don't have the exact right lines to match with the Aida fabric. Like if I follow this line, that's not a 45-degree angle. But what I would do is take one thread when you're done cross stitching the siding and create some long, come on, we need this photo to go to the back. Hello. Why you no go to the back? There we go. What I would do is then create, after you've cross stitched, one long thread. It was more like that, of a slightly darker color than you choose for the siding, and just do try and keep them as parallel as possible. It'll be a little tricky because they don't perfectly align with the grid is the word I'm looking for. But I will do it here so you can get a sense of it. And if you just do like one per row, then that gives you the look of the siding.
It really is like a slope of 1,
Yeah.
like all the way across.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mathematically, I want to say just like from the roof point to the side point, but I don't know that that would work all the way across because,
right.
but I can see where it kind of intersects, and I'll bring it back to that point and follow the line. Follow the line. Love isn't always on time. Isn't that what it is? Hold the line.
Oh yeah. Oh boy, is it.
Hold the line.
Man, what a jam.
Do, do, do.
If you haven't listened to Toto in a while, just pull up some Toto.
Yeah, like 10 out of 10 recommend.
Hold the Line, Rosanna, Africa. I mean,
It's gonna
just
take a lot to take me away from you. There's nothing that 100 men or more could ever do. So good. The Yacht Rock documentary is really good. I don't know if we've talked about that on any of our Sip and Stitch chats, but basically anything with like Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald, Toto is colloquial known as yacht rock because people imagine like these dudes in the 80s listening to this music on their yachts. And it's fascinating because there are all these excellent musicians who they fully say in their own interviews, like, oh yeah, like music videos killed us. That like they weren't handsome enough to like stay into the music video era. So then they became background musicians for the likes of Michael Jackson and all the music video guys that were making it big in the 80s. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Okay, Melissa, the other thing that you can think about is depending on how much embroidery you want to do and how much.
It's Megan.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you. Yeah, that
Just
was
kidding.
weird.
I mean,
No, you're right. My brain tooted. The other thing you get to think about, Megan, sorry, madam, is how much you want to smooth out the roof line. If you just do the triangle equivalent of like how I've followed the angles here, the roof will look even worse than if you don't, because it'll be a smooth line, but the smooth line will kind of go like this. If that makes sense. So for anybody watching, I'll just finish this one little section of it and you'll see what I mean. Because you're like, oh, I could just connect the points, right? But there is a forgiveness that happens visually with your eyeballs when something is made of squares. It's like 8-bit, like Mario pixel land. Like, you know, it's a little man, even though it's just a set of squares, like jumping around. But then if you try and smooth it out, then your brain is like, hey, now that's not a straight line. Right? Like that is clearly, it's like a roller coaster track. Versus over here, it's very similar in its angles, but because it's not smoothed out, your brain like visually draws the line through itself. Does that make sense? So if you're wanting the quote unquote smooth line look, what I would do is just cross stitch the roof line and then take, I don't know, probably like depending on how many threads you're using to stitch, I would take like 3 to 6 threads and just like do a straight line right over the top. And that, just because of the thickness of the threads, will look a little bit better. Like this won't stick out so much right now. That looks like a total right angle poking out. The threads will soften it. And if you have any gaps, you may want to do like, you know, something like this. Maybe you can go up to here, you know, but it's all going to be the same color and you won't be seeing the Aida fabric poking through. So like you can fill in the gaps a little bit, if that makes sense. And I do that across the whole house. So after you've cross stitched and the roof color is starting to come through, I would do the same thing on the roof portions, and that's going to be a little thicker. I do you know, little fill-in stitches. You might even have to do a little one there. And then this would be after you've cross-stitched the siding. And then after you've done the single threads of the siding, then I do like this. So you'd cross-stitch the siding, do the detail of the siding, cross-stitch the roof, and then add, if you want to. You don't have to do this part, but I probably would, just for, I don't know, prettiness factor. So anywhere, and whichever the farthest edge color is that your eye can see is probably how I'd do that. So up here, the roof, just the way the angle of the house is, kind of disappears. So then it becomes that you can only see, what is that, the fascia or the siding of the roof. So then I would just switch to that color because the roof kind of goes away. And that will visually become that. So there you have it. That's probably how I would tackle the house. It's totally up to you if you want to add even more trees in the back. If you do, I deleted the photo. I didn't hide the photo. I just deleted it. My bad. I need to bring in my photo again. Bring in the photo. Bring in the photo again. Cool. And then I just need to match up the size. Oops. But it depends on how much of the forest you want to include. It'd be a tall order, but a cool one. And you totally can if you want to. There are a few options for representing that in a less literal and time-consuming way. But again, I don't love time-consuming things. Some people really do, and maybe you want this to be kind of time consuming. That's okay. If you want this to be time consuming, then go for it with the trees and the lawn. What you could do for representing this grass is, depending on how many trees you include, you could do like just some little tufts all about. I actually have some over here that I'm just going to copy and paste. Grass tufts. Fantastic. So, you know, you can take a tuft and, you know, just put some of these guys. Where did you go? Where did you go, tuft? Come on. There you go. Just at the base of the tree. And that'll help your eye be like, oh yeah, there's grass there. You know what I mean? You could do a few more around if you wanted to. That's up to you. You could also do grass like in a straight stitch kind of way, either precisely like this, where it's like, you know, you're just stitching lines of grass, or you could do a few interpretive kind of lines of grass, like this kind of a look. And this would be sort of outside of the lines of the Aida fabric, you know, something like this. Up to you. But then what you're looking at is, it would have, come on, this kind of effect. I'm doing a bit sloppily, but you get the idea. And then as far as any trees in the background go, again, depending on how much of the forest you want to represent, I would just take like a dark brown because it's in the background, and maybe trace like a few trees out, a few of these branches, a few of what else is going on back here, and that'll look really cool.
Yes, Megan, we'll send this to you for
Oh
sure.
yeah, for sure.
And she said she'd probably embroider the arched bridge.
Oh, cute. Yes. I didn't even think of taking it that far. Again, I'm being really sloppy here, but this is just to show you sort of what I mean with backstitching these in the background. You'll see what I mean when this dance of random lines is over. Same thing with the leaves. You can, if depending on the season of stitching this, you could cross stitch leaves. I think that would be so much time and work. But you could also do like seed stitch leaves. So that would be like getting up in here and let me get a green color. So seed stitches are just itty bitty baby straight stitches. So once you have some branches or something, the seed stitches are just random, but you cluster them. And you probably want to more or less go the direction of the trees. But this, again, it takes a little less time because you don't have to count. You don't have to be precise. You're not aiming for specific holes in the fabric. And then when you're done, you know, you've got these little clusters that because they're small from a distance, it'll look just right. Yeah. So that's that. I would also, let's see, forgot about these guys. Probably just do.
She's saying, yeah, to make it easier, she'd go with the fall or winter trees, like sparse leaves.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I were you.
Man, I'll bet fall is beautiful out there.
Yeah. And then you have a couple details here, like around the window is, you know, you've got all these brown details that I would do as just, you know, it's just a line. I would also probably mark ever so subtly with just a single thread that is a slightly darker than the siding color, because you don't want it to be as dark as the roof, because it isn't. It's just the shadow of the roof. But I would mark those shadow lines out just to give this a little more depth. Like this. Here's another one. I'd mark this shadow line out. And you'll want to double check that it's matches the rest of the pattern. You know, this one is dark brown. The windows are highlighted in dark brown. So let me do that color. And then these shadow lines need to just be ever so slightly lighter to be more like the taupe of the house, so that when you get rid of that, let's see how well I aimed here. Yeah, not super great aim, but let's see if this one, because again, remember I deleted the picture and had to rematch it. That's why it doesn't match so great. So I just do like this and then like that up into the roof line. This one got a little misplaced, but same thing up into the roof line. This guy would look better. Oh, we did decide, we made kind of that executive decision to make this portion of the house a little bit more straight, for better or for worse, because it was just so subtly at an angle. But I think that'll work for us. And then, yeah, there's that brown outline. So again, coming together. But yeah, I mean,
this
that's
is Oklahoma, by the way.
Oh, Oklahoma, lovely. But yeah, that'll get you started anyway. And we're kind of right to the, oh, this is another way you could do it, is to just do all the same angle instead of the zigzag effect. Like so, you know, like this kind of deal. Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. Whatever you wanted to do for the grass. Again, I usually come from a place of like minimizing time in. What you could also do, Megan, that would look really pretty, is assuming you're doing this on a white Aida fabric, or, you know, a white-ish Aida fabric, if you did a little bit of watercolor ahead of time, just ever so slightly, and gave yourself some pretty blobs of color around where you're going to be stitching, you could put in some like blue sky watery colory effects. And you could also tackle the green grass the same way and just give yourself a little bit of foreground of green on which to do the house. So that's kind of an option too. I would probably play with that. If this were my house and like I was really wanting to go all out, that's probably what I'd do. If you've never done watercolor before, it's super easy. You just take your Aida fabric, you buy some watercolors at the craft store, and you just get it super watery. I would get the fabric watery first, like just wet, and then use a big brush and make sure your paint is really, really wet, and just go for it. And if it's too concentrated in color, you just add more water, and it'll really, really mute it down. I just use regular watercolors. You can get, I know some people will use like fabric dye so that it doesn't like bleed onto your floss or whatever. I've never had a problem with it bleeding on my floss. And you don't have a lot of white. Like if you're doing one of those like white and black, like Joanna Gaines style farmhouses where you're using a lot of white floss that's pulling through that blue watercolor or the green watercolor, I might approach it a little bit differently. But since you're using browns and there's a lot of mossiness and greens and green leaves, and like if there's any color bleed, which again, I've never experienced using watercolors, it's all in the same color range as the house anyway. So that's that. I think this is bugging me. This is bugging me, Megan. This like back area What I might do is, because if you do just those, it's going to make it look more thick. So I actually might just cross stitch in a slightly darker color because I think it's just the siding back there, but because it's tucked back, you'll want it to feel a bit darker. So I might just use the same siding color and actually, oops, just cross stitch that away. I think that would be the easiest way to not draw attention to that area back there where the fill color. Let's make this even a little darker. And that'll just say, hey, this is an area back there and nobody's gonna know. Nobody will notice.
This is an area back there.
There's an area back there, yeah. And this is stones. So, okie dokie. I mean, there's your house pattern. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it and don't want to use it, I will not be offended, but we will get your email. Do we have her email, Spence?
Yeah, she sent it in the email.
Perfect. We will email this pattern your way and hopefully it's helpful. And if it's not, no problem. But it's been fun to work on. I was just going to be working on patterns anyway today. So yeah, so that was a fun surprise, fun thing to work on. Hi, Chrissy and Diane. Hi, Annie. Thank you. Oh yeah, you could totally watercolor, Ada. So yeah, that could be a really fun way to generate background. I'll grab a piece.
Do you still have them?
Well, let me see. Do I have anything with watercolor on it out? I don't have anything with watercolor out. Otherwise,
we have been.
Well, I'll tell
away.
you. I'll show off my stash. So since we're downsizing, I went through all my Stitch People stuff, and this is my box for like active projects. And active, you can see my floss containers are in here and my things that I need to like actively stitch. And then this is all extra supplies. So this is all extra floss. This is my watercolors for when I do what I'm suggesting to Megan, and extra fabric. And I actually wonder if the bag is in here. Yes, my unfinished projects bag.
Ah.
So this is, sometimes I play video games. I like this video game called Baldur's Gate, and I did a portrait of one of the wizard characters, and I did a background painted with watercolor. So he's a wizard, so it's glitter fabric. And there's this scene in the game where he does this like Aurora Borealis. So, and you can see like it doesn't even really come through to the back. Not really. And I tend to go pretty thoroughly with the colors. And you can see like I tried some dark greens. I tried some blacks for where these trees come in, and then it was too dark. So just softened it. So yeah, you can do something very similar. And then I didn't have to stitch that whole stinking scene. If I wanted to go back in and do some seed stitches for these bushes and trees, that might be cool. Or to do a few long grassy lines in the foreground, that would be cool. But it just gives the idea of the background and lets your focus just stay on the characters in the foreground. So that's an example of watercolor background for your Stitch People portraits. And like, again, I'll just show you, I just use, I mean, I have no idea what this brand is. This is like, got it from Joann's or Michael's or something. And usually like cut yourself a piece of test fabric, you know, and see how it's going to look first. This is from when I was doing that very one. Oh no, here's my glitter fabric. So yeah, like I tested a whole bunch of different colors. So cut some test fabric and see, so that it's not like you're stuck with what you're stuck with. But you'll see it's quite workable, just with a lot of water. So anyway, that now my chair is covered in projects. But that is the end of our sip and stitch time. So thank you everybody for hanging out, and thanks Megan for the opportunity to do a cool new pattern. It was fun seeing everybody digitally. And next month and last Saturday of August, we'll hopefully be across the country. So we'll keep in touch as we're driving. If we hit up any of your cities, we'll be posting as we go, and hopefully plan some Stitch People meetups along the way. We'd love to see anybody who's able to do that. We'll probably just meet at like parks or like coffee shops or like easy things. So anyway, thanks for hanging out, everybody. So good to see you. Happy Saturday, happy sip and stitching, and good luck with all of your projects. And Megan, we will email this house your way. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.